Have you heard of Dossier Perfumes? Do you know what in the heck these things are? They're kind of everywhere right now being advertised. I'm going to tell you and introduce you and give you a review of 6 of their perfumes coming up next. Welcome back, everybody, to Joel the Nose. And today I'm doing a review of something a little bit different for me. And I want to say right out at the outset, this is a not new, I guess it's a fragrance company that came out a couple years ago called Dossier. For those of you who have not seen these advertised on the internet, they're kind of everywhere right now. Dossier Perfumes, what are they? They are, you can call them a clone house, a dupe house, whatever you want to call them. They list themselves as inspired by fragrances. So basically the idea behind these is that they are releasing inspired by fragrances that are inspired by like the leading designer, and now they're into the niche fragrance world also. So they started out with like, you know, Bleu de Chanel, a bunch of YSL, or, you know, any of the, you know, kind of popular designer fragrances, Tom Ford, both men and women and unisex. But they started out that way a couple years ago. Now they've gotten into the niche world. I, for disclosure purposes, was reached out to by one of their reps a little while ago, actually last year. And I kind of held off, excuse me, I held off trying to, sorry, I got cats running around. My cat and dog are fighting over here. I got phones ringing. Anyways, I was reached out by one of the representatives, excuse me, and they asked whether I would entertain the idea of reviewing the fragrances. Now, most of you know I review mostly niche fragrances. I have reviewed, and you know, I did review Club de Nuit recently, and I do other designer fragrances, but most of the stuff I review is niche. So I said, well, let me look at your website. Let me look at this first. And so I looked at it. I was intrigued by the concept of this brand. They are out of New York, but they talk about the fact that they're kind of based all around the world and that they source their fragrances from Grasse, France. Of course, Grasse being the famous French region where perfumery was essentially invented. So, you know, I'm kind of looking at it, and I saw that they now had a whole collection of niche fragrances, and since I obviously review mostly niche fragrances, I wanted to, hey, stop. Sorry, every time I put it on my camera, I swear, my cat and my dog go crazy. I don't know if they get jealous or whatever it is, but, so, I'm looking at all that, and I'm thinking, okay, this is interesting. So I started researching and reviewing a little bit. I'm like, okay, you know, I'll see how these niche fragrances smell, and there's a couple things that I want to say at the outset also that are different about this brand. Okay, so they're inspired by. What does that mean? Think about movies, right? A lot of times you'll see a movie, it will say inspired by real events, and it's kind of like a dramatic reinterpretation. So maybe it's 70% or 80% or 60% based on reality. So I don't consider this a dupe house or a clone house, although, you know, like Dua or, you know, maybe Armaf. I think it's a little bit different. Now, that's how they market themselves. So that's the first thing I want to say. The second thing about the house is that I think is actually unique and I think brilliant what they're doing. So all their fragrances range anywhere from $39 up to $49. Okay, so it kind of depends on whether you're a designer, and they may have some even low as $29. I have to look. But essentially most of them are $39 or $49. And for a 50 ml bottle, so this is one of the bottles that it comes in, you can see here. It's just a simple bottle. It's actually kind of clean. I will say magnetic cap. So see that? That's kind of cool, right? Magnetic cap. So there's actually some, you know, interesting stuff behind it. But what's cool about this is, as far as the fragrances go, they have a return policy and essentially a policy of risk-free trial. And so every fragrance you order, you get the 50 ml bottle. Everything is 50 milliliters, so there's no other options. If you want a bottle, it's 50 milliliters, okay? But they also give you a decant, just a sample decant in the box. So when you order it, you can try the decant, try the fragrance. If you like it, you keep it, you're done. If you don't like it, you have 30 days to return the original full bottle. Obviously, you don't want to spray the full bottle. As long as it hasn't been sprayed, you get a full refund. So to me, this is kind of a win-win situation. I wish more fragrance houses did something like this. I think it's actually brilliant marketing on their part and brilliant for the consumer like us who aren't sure if they want to try a fragrance. So that's kind of the catch behind this brand. They also talk about the fact, besides the fact that they source from Grasse, France, that they're 100% vegan and cruelty-free, so they don't test on animals, and that they try to be sustainable. So, they're going for that whole vibe. I think they're trying to attract a younger crowd we all should be interested in that stuff, but I think that's more important, right, to the younger generation, these things. And so anyways, let's get right into it. I am not offered anything for this. I'm not being paid. I'm not getting commissions, nothing, okay? I told them very clearly that the only way that I would review this is if I got, that I would do a review that would be 100% honest, and that's what this review is gonna be. So let's get right into this. I know I had to talk a little bit about the background of the brand because a lot of people don't know about this company. I wanted you to know the facts behind it. This is, when you order it, this is the box it comes in. Actually pretty cool, nice, simple, like beige box. You open it up, kind of like voila, and there it says, iconic scents, designer quality, no markups. So they talk about the fact that the reason why they're able to offer this so low is they don't have the designer markup, the retail markup, they don't pay commissions, that basically they've cut out the middlemen, and so it's kind of like how a lot of niche houses go, right? They don't have the markup to the retailer. So it's an interesting combination. So okay, when you get it, the fragrance comes in, sits in like that. So you pull it out. Here is the decant. So the decant comes, it's actually then says which one this in. This is Oriental Tobacco, by the way, which is inspired by Tom Ford's, this is Tobacco Vanille. So this is the Tobacco Vanille fragrance. And you get the decant, you can spray it. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you return it. If you pull out this box, this is another cool concept that I like that they're doing. They give you a card with each fragrance that kind of describes it, gives you the notes, gives you the concentration, gives you what it was inspired by. So I like the transparency of this. They're very upfront. This is inspired by Tom Ford Tobacco Vanille Eau de Parfum. This is an 18% concentration, and then it lists the top notes. For example, this is, again, called Oriental Tobacco. That's what they've called it. And the top notes are tobacco, ginger, apricot. Middle notes are honey, vanilla, cocoa. And the base notes are tonka bean, dry fruits, and blonde woods. Now, I went through each of the 6 fragrances they gave me. And just to show you what I got. So I got the Oriental Tobacco, which I just showed you, which is the Tobacco Vanille. I got Fougère Oud. Okay, Fougère Oud, which is Tom Ford's Oud Wood. I got Woody Sandalwood. Okay, this is Santal 33 from Le Labo. Then I got, Musky Oak Moss, which is Creed Aventus. Then I got Musky Green Tea, which is Creed's Silver Mountain Water. And then I got, lastly, Green Verbena, which is Creed's Green Irish Tweed. Again, bottles I like because they're simple, they're clean. You can see them fitting very nicely on your counter or wherever you keep your fragrances. The only thing I would say, and again, magnetic cap, very nice. The only thing I would say is the labels. I don't know if you can see there, they have bubbles. So when they come here, the labels are a little bit, some of them, like this one's a little bit off center. You can see it's kind of angled. It's got little bubbles. That's, one little small criticism, doesn't have anything to do with the juice. These fragrances, by the way, range anywhere, again, that I got anywhere from, for example, the Tobacco Vanille. Let's just show you. The Tobacco Vanille, or what I call the Oriental Tobacco, right? So that is the Tobacco Vanille from Tom Ford. It is $39 versus $250. Okay, so that's the retail for Tom Ford's Oud Wood. If you look at Musky Oak Moss, which is Creed's Aventus inspired by, this is $49 versus a $325 cost if you buy the original. So there are some tremendous savings, especially when you buy one of the niche inspired by versus the designer. If you buy Eau or Bleu de Chanel, I think it's $29 or $39 versus, $79, $89 retail. So there's a big difference if you get the niche ones. Now, let's get into the juice. How I would describe them. I have worn all 6 fragrances, okay? I wanted to give this a fair shot. Gonna be honest, flat out. They smell like the original. Most people are not gonna know the difference. If they're smelling this on you, you're not gonna know the difference. I got good projection. Each fragrance, I got over 10 hours of wearing on my skin. Each one. The Oriental Tobacco, which is the Tobacco Vanille, I got almost 15 hours on. But every single one, I got over 10 hours on my skin. Every single one smelled like the original. What would I describe it as? They smell like the original light. So it looks like Creed Aventus Light, Tom Ford's Oud Wood Light. When you smell it on your skin, that's my impression. Other people that I asked them to smell it, who are familiar with these fragrances, they couldn't tell the difference. Now, where are they getting the materials from? At this price, I've got to assume that almost everything in here is synthetic, which is not a bad thing. Watch my video I'm doing that I did recently on synthetics. Synthetics, of course, for the most part, can be cheaper, although sometimes they are more expensive than the, of course, original natural materials. I suspect that's how they're cutting the corners here. Now, it says everything is sourced from Grasse, France. So I don't know what that means. Do they mean the perfumers are there, that the inspiration is there? Clearly not all the materials are from there, because not every material that would go into these is grown in Grasse, France. They're grown all around the world. So I suspect that most of the stuff here is probably going to be synthetic, but they do show you again, on each one, they list the concentration level. So 18%, some are 15%, some are 16%, some are 20%, or in that range. So they're, again, very transparent. That's what I like about this. You know what you're getting. There's no guesswork here. It's not like you're buying a bottle and you're guessing what is the concentration level, what are the notes, what's in it. It tells you everything. And if you don't like it, if you don't like the decant, send it back within 30 days and you get your money back. So I think that's a good point. Again, the projection, each one's a little bit different. I'm not going to go into a breakdown of all 6 fragrances. But again, each one I got over 10 hours, and I got good projection for a couple hours on all of them. And they all smelled to me very much like the original. I did break down, and I looked at the note breakdown for each bottle I was wearing. And for example, if you look at the notes they list versus the notes that typically are listed for the original fragrances, I got anywhere from tobacco, the Oriental Tobacco, which is Tobacco Vanille, was about 85 to 90% similar, meaning they had the similar notes. The Woody Sandalwood, which is Santal 33, was 90% similar based on the notes. The Musky Oak Moss was about 75% similar to the Creed Aventus. Musky Green Tea was 90% similar to Creed's Silver Mountain Water, and the Green Verbena was about 70% similar to Green Irish Tweed. So as you can see, they're anywhere from typically 70 to 90% similar. To me, that's inspired by, right? So what they do is they take the fragrance, they use something that I've talked about in another video. Typically, they're going to use probably what's called a gas chromatography machine. And it's what they do is they call it shooting the juice. They run the fragrance through this machine. It tells them within like 99% accuracy what are all the elements in there. So they're probably doing that. And then they're using anywhere from 70 to 90% of the similar fragrance notes. And then they're maybe adding a couple here and there of their own. And they're probably, again, using mostly synthetic fragrances in order to keep the cost down, in order to do it, obviously, for the prices of anywhere from, $29, $39 to $49. Let's see, I guess that's probably about it on my review here. I think let me kind of summarize this all up. I would say that this is a great option for people who, A, don't have extra money to spend on fragrances that are looking to kind of get into the niche world or even the designer world and don't want to spend. To me, I think the real value is though on the niche side, because you're saving a little bit of money, but not necessarily a tremendous amount of money on the designer side. Where you're really saving it is on the niche side, a lot of money, sometimes over $200, dollars or almost $300. So if you're looking to get in the niche world, you don't have the money, this is a good option for you. If you just like trying clones and dupes and like having those in your, then obviously you got to try Dossier because you got nothing to lose, right? You can return it for free if you don't like it. And so I've said my piece before on the whole designer kind of, or the whole clone versus dupe thing. I'm a niche guy. I like niche fragrances. Are these good? Are they wearable? Yes. Are these good? I think these are good for maybe a younger crowd. I'm thinking, you're in your teens or 20s and you don't have a lot of money and you're trying to break into the fragrance world. This is going to give you a good idea of what some of the better, more famous fragrances smell like. So there you have it. That's my review of Dossier, the house, Dossier fragrances, and the 6 fragrances that I have been testing and wearing. And let me know what you think. Has anyone tried them? Has anyone bought them? By the way, they are always running. If you go to their website, if you sign up for text messages, they give you 20% off now. If you buy like fragrances in a bundle, think like 2 or 3 at a time, they give you a discount and free shipping. So they're running all types of discounts. So again, the more you buy, they give you a better deal. So that's it. Again, Joel the Nose, thanks for watching. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you guys have tried it. And I'm really interested to hear everyone's opinion on this. Thanks for watching. This is Joel the Nose. Peace and love.